Doubt about it. When you say that this club is over 500 and they have lost 6 games by 2 or less points, that's staggering. 4 new starters, questionable bench. They've had incredible injuries to key people, not only Marning, but then Marley and McLean and Eddie Jones.
Tonight, Mark Wunderlich, Gary Benson, and Mike Callahan. First meeting of the year between these teams. And hard to believe such a changeover with 2 of the teams that challenged for the right to go to the NBA Finals in recent years.
Well, if both teams were totally healthy, they would not only have big changes, but they'd have a ton of talent.
And the tip controlled by Indiana.
Now, Pat Riley's concerned defensively. Yes, Jalen Rose going right in the post up Timmy Hardaway, and that's there for them.
That's going to be one they'll try to pursue throughout the game. Jalen Rose misses, and Grant gets the rebound. Rose coming off a 31-point effort Christmas Day in the win over Orlando.
Whenever you watch Miami, they do not fast break. They're not a peep team. What they do is they move the ball in transition and shoot a ton of threes.
And Mason has his shot blocked inside, and that was Jeff Foster on the block. So Foster, one of the young players drafted by Golden State in '99 in the first round and traded to Indiana for draft rights to Montego Cummings. Rose double team. And here is Jonathan Bender coming off a 20-point effort, a career high on Christmas Day, and this is over the top after missing the 3.
Now, 2 post-ups, taking Hardaway inside. First post-up, no double team. Second time, double team, forcing Bender to shoot the 3.
And Bender guarding Eddie Jones. An interesting matchup. Hardaway guarded by Reggie Miller. Minute gone by, and here is Jones leaving it for Brian Grant, who hit.
Well, I expect that to be open all night long. Eddie Jones will run Bender off the screens. Bender has never played a player at the quality of an Eddie Jones. 6'7", like a cat, quick coming off and reads the defense so well.
Off the screen is Miller, and the pass, not a good one behind Foster.
Yeah, bad pass by Reggie that time. He was anticipating. Unfortunately, Foster was quick. When you look at Indiana, Bender's 19 years of age. O'Neal, 22. Foster, 23. It's a lot of size and a lot of youth.
And illegal defense was called and then, I believe, taken back by the official. An inadvertent whistle by Gary Benson. So 15 on the shot clock for the Miami Heat. By the way, Wayne Causwell, who started the year at center for the team, did not dress because of tendonitis in the right knee. So Causwell unable to play, and the Pacers committing a foul, and it will be against Bender.
That's exactly what we were talking about. They ran the same play again. Grant goes down, puts on a beautiful screen. Bender runs right into the screen.
And it was Bender who was guarding Tracy McGrady, who had a big 43-point effort on 31 shots on Christmas Day. So Bender, an offensive threat, still learning the ropes on the other end.
Now, Rose is not a beep point guard. That might mean pushing the ball with a lot of quickness.
And Bender going in, and it doesn't go for him. Bowen tips it, and here is Anthony Mason in the forecourt. Mason going up, missing, and the rebound again by Foster.
Indiana has a couple of jumping means, and by that we mean Bender, Foster can really sky for young kids.
And trying to come around the screen is Miller, but an offensive foul called against Indiana, and Jonathan Bender picks up 2 early fouls.
Yeah, they're coming with Travis Best right now. Now they'll go small. Travis Best will move to the point guard position, and Jalen Rose will move up to the small forward.
So they take out Bender, who had the career high of 20 points with 4 blocks in the game Christmas Day. 2 early fouls.
Well, this is a learning session for him, Dick. They ran him right into those screens, and at the other end of the floor, they caught him moving.
Here's Brian Grant working inside. 7 on the shot clock. Hardaway misses his first shot, and Jermaine O'Neal with the rebound.
Miami, one of the top teams in the league in attempting 3-point shots.
And here is Travis Best putting it up and missing, and that's what Isaiah Thomas wants him to do. Do you think scoring first and be aggressive on the offensive end? Here's Eddie Jones. Misses the fall away. So Indiana still has not made a shot. They're 0 for 4. Reggie Miller. And his pass picked off by who else? Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, one of the best. He plays the passing lane as well as any player in this league.
Hardaway down the lane, and this was picked off by Reggie Miller. So Jones and Miller with two very similar interception plays on the same pass.
Well, it looks a little bit like the Follies here.
Bergier
at both ends.
Jermaine O'Neal goes up, and it was blocked by Mason out of bounds. Last touch by the Heat, and Indiana has 12 to attempt a shot.
Anytime that Mason picks up O'Neal, he must take him in deep, and you've got to have a strong move. You have 4 inches on Mason, you can shoot up over the top.
Here's Reggie Miller with his first shot. He misses. And so the Pacers are 0 for 5, and Miami not much better. 1 for 6 to start the game. And Jones fires it up and hits the deck and will go to the line. Right now, he'll be here as tonight's stat track, a key statistic that you feel will shape tonight's game.
I think as you look at this game this evening, Miami must make 6 or more 3-point field goals. We know that they'll attempt quite a few. The key is that they've got to make them. Then at the other end, it'll be interesting who will win the battle of the rebounding at the power forward and center position for both teams. We know that Indiana has more size and more people that they can bring in, but it's a young group.
Eddie Jones, who is an 87% free throw shooter, makes only 1 out of 2, and the Heat leading 3-0 in an incredibly low-scoring game with less than 8.5 to go in the first.
Maybe they're still nervous about the fire. That's the question that we had during the introductions.
Well, the fans at home don't know this, but they had a little show with a little fire, which we, of course, felt full blast. A little concerned.
A guy walked by me and asked me if I'd been at the beach. Yeah. Are you kidding me? We got singed over here.
I didn't know you had to put sunblock on when you came in to do a game here in American Airlines Arena. Here is Reggie Miller going in for the layup, and that is the first field goal for Indiana. Bruce Bowen picked up that last foul, and Indiana finally scored.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful move by Reggie. Great. That's a terrific battle tonight. Eddie Jones on Reggie Miller.
Here's Brian Grant, picked up by O'Neal. Gets the ball back. O'Neal defending inside. Grant with a turnaround and the rebound. O'Neal, a promising star in this game.
Well, O'Neal's a terrific shot blocker. That's why we try to bring out that point. Fourth best in the league.
Jalen Rose cold from the field, and it is still 3-2 with 7:35 remaining in the first quarter. And here is Anthony Mason. Grant is open and hit. So Grant is hit from both sides of the baseline.
Well, that's his shot. That baseline 12 to 15 footer, it's automatic for him. And you know that Mason will always overpass.
Indiana coming in 5-10 on the road this year. And here is Travis Best in the lane, and he hits.
He's having a sensational year. They've doubled his minutes, he's doubled his points. And he's having a very nice year, not only his field goal percentage, but he's shooting over 40% in threes.
And here's Hardaway driving to the basket, and it's tipped out of bounds by Rose with 12 on the shot clock. And of course, Travis Best, you have to look at his assist numbers, and that is coming off the bench. He doesn't start anymore.
Well, when we said that he's getting 4 assists for every turnover, he's 3rd in the league. First in the league, Nick Van Exel. Second, Mark Jackson. 2 guys who are usually Mason as he comes across the middle. Here we have Grant. You're going to see him right here. His man is going to come over. That is going to leave Reggie Miller playing Grant and another man outside. And it's going to put a lot of pressure on Reggie Miller, which guy to guard. Keep an eye on it now. Once it goes in, all right, the man leaves the double team. There's the kick out. Reggie Miller is standing in between. He did not play Grant or his own man out on the 3.
So Brian Grant, a starter, getting the minutes and getting the chance to score and rebound, which he has done. And keep in mind that both Brian Grant and Jermaine O'Neal both were members of the Portland Trail Blazers last year.
Well, Grant's thing was, look, I want more than 20 minutes a game. He's getting it here, and he's just done a masterful job. And you have to love the heart of their front line. When you say Mason and Grant, you're talking 2 guys who show up every night and are putting up outstanding numbers.
Each team shooting 2 for 8. Just under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mason with a wheeling around shot that doesn't go. So now one team is 2 for 9. Travis Best is guarded by Tim Hardaway. Miller trying to come off the screen from Foster. He does, and in and out. So Reggie Miller That's a patented shot for him.
Both teams are getting shots, Dick. They're getting what they want out of what they're running. The ball is just not going in the basket.
And Mason trying to back in against Foster. And the foul is against Foster. And Isaiah Thomas playing a lot of young people up front and staying with him even at ends of games.
Well, the thing about Foster, you have to remember, the guy played in less than 20 games last year. And the fact that here he is starting and he's throwing this assignment to the power forward. Great thing.
Grant goes around O'Neal, who got a piece of it. Mason goes out to Hardaway, who fires and hits.
There you go.
And Isaiah Thomas said, I don't know what's going to show up. Will it be the Hardaway who lights it up from 3 or the guy who was a little off? Well, so far he's 1 for 2 from 3.
He's dangerous. You have to get to him because he attempts 6 threes a game.
And you said that's what Miami needs. They need at least 6 threes in the game. And a good move by Jermaine O'Neal.
He has to play big, Dick. By that I mean do not step low and take your 6'11" frame down to 6'6". Play big and shoot up over the top of either Grant or Mason.
And Hardaway, does he beat it? Misses the 3, and Mason with the offensive rebound. See if Rose will clamp down on Hardaway from beyond the line. And here is Bowen from the corner and knocked away, and the Pacers.
That position is the key to this team. Bowen is only shooting 31%. Marley is not back. He's missed 27 games.
O'Neal with the one-hander. Nice. 2 good moves inside by Jermaine O'Neal, who's in his 5th year out of Eau Claire High School.
22 years old with a ton of talent.
Under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Grant works his way in, so Grant beating Foster to the hoop.
Beautiful power drop step. Caught him with the leg and the shoulder and just moved him out.
Grant has 6 of Miami's 10 points. Heat by 2. Indiana, the defending conference champions, struggling right now at 13 and 16, as you would expect, with very young players, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old. Travis Best misses a 3 badly, and Eddie Jones out of the pack. Jones with a fall away against Rose. Miller gets it out to Travis Best. Pacers looking to tie. They have never been in front here in this first quarter. And the foul is Grant fouls O'Neal. Very quick is Jermaine O'Neal.
Now remember, we're talking about a young guy, 22 years of age, has played in a ton of games as a backup at Portland. They had a lot of confidence in him for shot blocking and rebounding. But now that he's getting his opportunity, he's up over 13 points a game, and he's shooting a very nice percentage, 48%.
Austin Crozier has come in the game. A bit of a disappointment. Started 22 games and has not played up to the expectations, and a backcourt violation will give it over to Miami.
In the offseason, last year, you have to remember, in the playoffs, he was their 4th leading scorer, meaning Crozier. He signed a 7-year, $51 million contract. Came back. Now, whether he's feeling the pressure of that, Dick, I really don't know. But he's too good of a shooter, outside and off the dribble, to be shooting 37%. It will work its way out.
Mason leaves it out to Hardaway with plenty of time on the shot clock, and Hardaway fouled as he drives to the basket by Best.
The key tonight defensively is to get to Hardaway. And they've got to get to Hardaway quick, because you know he'll continue to shoot the threes, whether he makes them or not. All right, now the key, when you run at him, don't leave your feet, because he'll blow right by you off the dribble.
3:45 to go, and the Indiana Pacers have 8 points. In fact, only 18 points have been scored thus far. Here is Grant again from the baseline and hitting.
You can rotate all you want, but you cannot give him that shot.
4 of 6 from the field, and 8 points for Brian Grant, coming in as the 2nd leading scorer on the Miami Heat. And here is Jalen Rose with the double team turnaround, and Grant gets the rebound. So Rose and Miller look up, and the fake and a lay-in by Bowen as he beat the defense down court.
Now, Bowen, according to Pat Riley, Pat feels that he is the 2nd best defensive player in this league, defensive guard. And he just feels that he can do a terrific job. He'll live with the fact that he's having a tough night shooting, a tough year shooting.
And a tough night shooting thus far for Jalen Rose. who misses the shot, but a Miami foul. So Rose is 0 for 4, and Brian Grant hits the floor, and the foul will be charged to Jermaine O'Neal. So 2 of the young frontliners for us.
One thing we can count on, they will continue to shoot.
As well as should. As well they should. You be the first to tell them in the huddle.
Absolutely. Now, you know yourself that no one has forced a shot here. All the shots have been good attempts out of what they're running. The main key, though, when they continue to post up Timmy Hardaway, you've got to stop settling for jump shots. You must run your drop step power series and take them to the rim.
Bruce Bowen hits the first free throw, and Sam Perkins, the 17-year veteran, there was some thoughts he might retire, but here he is back again for another tour of duty with the Indiana Pacers, and obviously in a role to help some young players as Bowen hits them both. The Heat have run off 8 in a row now. So Travis Best at the point, and Rose moving to the small forward position.
Right now, Indiana going to a passing game type of a open floor pass, screen away, a lot of movement.
And the pass a little too low off the shoe. So Crozier's pass too low for Miller, and a Pacer turnover.
So you can run passing game all you want. The main thing is can you open up the players that you have, and can you get them shots in their high percentage areas?
16-8, the Heat have doubled the Pacers' output as Jones has it knocked away, and Miller, who's made a couple of good defensive plays in anticipation here in this first quarter with a stop and go and drawing the foul on the drive to the basket.
That was a very heady move by a great offensive player. Reggie Miller gave the hesitation dribble, and then as soon as Grant came at him and moved, Reggie took the contact and blew right by him. That was a bad foul by Brian Grant, because now he must come out of the game.
Second foul, and AC Green will replace him. And I want to remind you, coming up tomorrow on TNT, the Portland Trailblazers, Brian Grant's former team, go against the Utah Jazz. That'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern on TNT.
Reggie Miller only shooting 92% from the line. You know, he's kind of an interesting guy because throughout his career he's just been outstanding on the foul line.
And he missed one. So Eddie Jones misses one, and he's an 87% shooter from the stripe. And now Reggie Miller misses one. And I'm not going to use the word jinx as you do with me whenever I talk about a big number guy and he misses one. Because you coach. All right.
One thing I know is that Reggie Miller is not going to allow pressure to enter into his game.
Mason's tried a variety of shots inside Hubie.
Well, you know what it is? It's not a legitimate jump hook or a hook shot. It's more of a push shot as he comes off and he brings the ball down. Oh, great block
by Eddie Jones. Best had begged Perkins, who looked like he had an easy layup, and Eddie Jones came by and got a piece of it. So the Heat, as you mentioned, one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, showing why. Bowen leaves it for Green, who is guarded by Jalen Rose. Jones driving in, and here's Hardaway for 3, and he's got his second of the game.
Now, 2 guys could have shot the ball before the final shot, but they continue to pass, continue to move, and then because of Mason and Eddie Jones so good off the dribble, that opens up Hardaway behind the three-point line.
We wind down to the 1-minute mark in this first quarter, and Indiana still has not reached double digits. Reggie Miller throws it off the leg and is picked off by Mason. So here they go again.
Eddie Jones, Mason, Brian Grant playing great in this first quarter.
AC Green got the pass inside and was fouled. So AC Green, who played for Pat Riley in Los Angeles, as you know, playing in his 1,140th game, the ongoing record for consecutive games played. And a cheer for Dan Marley, who is into the ball game. Marley, of course, who missed so much with a hamstring pull to start the year and then aggravated against New Jersey in their game on Saturday. But in there, this is only his 3rd game of the season.
He's missed 27 games. Now, we know that he's a great defender. We know he's an outstanding three-point shooter. And then he is the heart and soul of your defense because he'll play either a small forward or a 2 guard when the game is on the line, whichever guy that you might be going to. They need him because of the veteran leadership, and then that moves Bowen to the bench, and then you can bring him off the bench as a spot-up guy.
Now, Bowen stays in the game, so it's Bowen, Marley, Anthony Mason with Green and Hardaway defensively with under a minute to go and 16 on the shot clock for Indiana. They have been ice cold tonight. Pacers 27% from the field, and another turnover, and Hardaway will get the easy lay-in. So Hardaway has 8, Grant has 8 to lead the Miami Heat, looking for their 3rd in a row. 7 turnovers by the Indiana Pacers in this first quarter. And Derek McKee checking in and nearly threw that one away. Reggie Miller hitting the basket, and finally Indiana gets into double digits and get the ball back. Miller very opportunistic defensively in his first stanza.
Well, you always have to be careful of that because Reggie will hang once he makes a score on the baseline.
Miller throwing it out to McKee, lays it in. So Derek McKee, who along with Perkins seeing less playing time in the new arrangement, the final seconds, and Mason, Hardaway, and that'll do it for the first quarter. It was all Miami defensively and offensively, and Hardaway hitting a pair of threes. With 8 points, Brian Grant also has 8, and a very spirited first quarter for the Miami. As you talked about, Miami needs 6 or more, and they've got 2 of them, so they're ahead of their pace as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and Reggie Theus, and Hardaway with his defender falling down, leaving AC Green open, and the rebound by Reggie Miller. So the defensive end is where Miami really starred in the first quarter, holding the Pacers to 35% shooting, 7 turnovers, no offensive rebounds, and they went to the line only once. You can't do better than that. Derek McKee with Reggie Miller, Sam Perkins, Travis Best, and Austin Crozier. And Best going around traffic. Pretty play by Travis Best.
Very difficult shot. Travis Best telling Mike Callahan as he's running back the referee, hey, I was hit on that shot. He split the defenders.
8-point lead by the Heat. Perkins guarding Green, and a pass off the foot of Bowen. And Reggie Miller has been the recipient of several turnovers. Rushed the shot perhaps, and Mason the rebound.
Right now, good open looks for Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose. Main thing, they just got to take their time, settle down, and let's just not take the long jumper so early in the shot clock.
Pick and roll, and it works. Hardaway to Anthony Mason, who gets his first basket of the game. 10-point lead for the Miami Heat. And Eddie Jones getting set to come back into the game. Miller coming off the screen and winds up on the floor. No foul call.
Look up, look up.
Marley inside to Mason to a driving Green. Pretty play and a foul. And a chance for the 3-point play. Quick pass by the Heat.
Reggie Miller better be careful here right now. He's close to a technical. He's all over Mike Callahan. He wanted to foul at the other end of the floor. Keep an eye right there in the middle of your screen. Here comes AC Green down the middle. That was beautiful. Always looking for the trailer. And if you notice, Miami has excellent spacing so far in this ball game.
So Reggie Miller didn't get the foul at one end and committed the foul at the other end, really adding to his frustration as Jalen Rose, as you mentioned, replaces him. Rose has yet to score in this game, and a 13-point Miami lead.
Good trap here with AC Green as the trap man.
Rose guarded by Eddie Jones. Crozier defended by Mason, going around Mason and lays it in, and they call offensive foul against Austin Crozier.
Isaiah Thomas up challenging whether the defender was inside of the dotted line. Now, from there, you cannot see it. Now, we're going to show it, give you a better look. Keep an eye on the dotted line, the restraining area. Now, he had his heel. He had his heel initially on the line. That should have been a block. The basket should have counted, and shooting a foul shot.
Here's Eddie Jones from the corner. Eddie Jones with his first field goal of the game, and it's 30-15, so a 15-point lead by the Miami Heat, trying to make him 3 in a row and beat Indiana in their first meeting of the year. Crozier posting up against Mason. Marley faking the double, and Crozier fouled.
Mason is famous for trying to strip you of the basketball before you get it up above your letters on the way up on a jump shot. Now, he got caught that time. The hand went in there. He's very adept at doing that. Now, an interesting fact in the Miami offense. how many times they've opened up on the baseline tonight, wide open for a front court player to knock in that 10 to 12-foot jump shot.
And, of course, that goes to spacing once again, how effective they've been on the offensive end. Word about this Miami team and how dedicated they are. You talked at the outset about the great job Pat Riley was doing. The players voted unanimously to practice on Christmas Day. They were given the option, and they decided they all wanted to practice, which I think speaks volumes.
This team, a very dedicated team. You can see that the 4 veteran guys have been carrying this group. And night in and night out. Now remember, they have 7 wins and only 6 losses against the West. Everyone else in the East is struggling against
Pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed.
Kevin Eddie House into the game for the Miami Heat. The flashy young point guard, the rookie from Arizona State, who Pat Riley has praised since the beginning of the year. 3 minutes.
Yeah, McKee just knocked Eddie Jones down.
Nothing called, and a wild shot by Jalen Rose. Continuing to struggle. Rose yet to score and has missed all 5 of his shot attempts. And the foul against Mason. So he's picked up 2 quick ones.
Now, Eddie Jones was leveled in that post-up area there. He caught a forearm, drove him right to the floor. Great, defeated them in New York. The very next night, they go down to Philadelphia, handle Philly by 20 points, and that is a tough thing to do in Philly's building.
Under 9 minutes to go here in the first half. It's been all Miami, 30-17. McKee guarded by Marley like a blanket right now. And they're trying to get it to Jalen Rose. Crozier into the corner, and here is Travis Best with a fake. House stays with him, but Best off the glass.
I see he got hit again. Travis Best, the first time, yeah, you can say he got hit, but maybe we'll overlook it. But that time, he was hit hard. That should have been a 3-point play.
Are they letting him play tonight?
Well, that's a good point, Dick. You know, when the referees call a game like this and they allow all the contact, then you have to play accordingly.
And Crozier thought he had picked off the pass into the post, but he had stepped on the line. So the Heat maintained possession with 9 seconds to try a shot. There is Isaiah Thomas, and in asking Thomas about his abilities coach, he says, you know, the biggest thing is to give the team confidence when things are not going well, as the offensive foul is called. So the palming violation, not a foul. So Isaiah Thomas, in his first year as head coach, going against a guy who has 1,000 wins.
Well, you know, I like what Isaiah said. He said, hey, coaching is great. It's teaching. It's being a mentor. Yeah, we have so many young guys on this team. Come on, they have 11 guys with 6 years or less of experience in this league on this ball club. So he realizes that he can make a major impression on them for many years to come in this league, not just X's and O's.
And he says he doesn't talk about his days as a champion with the Pistons, but about the history of the league and the great values you have as doing the things right in the NBA. Best leaves it for Crozier for 3, and House, who just committed a foul moments ago, gets the rebound.
At playoff time, if Miami is healthy, by that we mean just the regular guys, not Mourning, but everyone else is healthy. Dan is back, and also Carter, who's out right now with a bad groin. They are going to be a handful.
As you would expect, and that would be a great compliment to this team without Mourning. Crozier going down the lane, and Austin Crozier now with 4 off the bench.
As badly or poorly as Indiana is playing, they're still in this contest.
Only down by 9.
Just cut back on your turnovers because you are getting very good looks at the basket.
House has a shot deflected by Best, but Miami comes out with it, but the shot clock running down with 4. They're running at House, and the foul is called. House is knocked down on a hard foul that time. But Indiana fouling initially as the shot clock was running down. An inopportune foul, to say the least.
Now, it's just a strong move. You can see right there, Sam Perkins went for the shot block. Watch as he goes for the shot block. He had the ball, but then his hand came down and hit House right in the head.
And a technical foul and a personal foul against Travis Best. So to add insult to injury, Best now has 3 personal fouls, and Jones is on the line for a technical. So Travis Best is going to come out of the ball game now, and we're going to see Tyus Edney, who was just activated Sunday after suffering a very tough injury, plantar fasciitis of his left foot, and that kind of hangs in there. But Edney can push the ball, and that's what Isaiah likes.
Well, he played on the UCLA championship team in '95. He was drafted by Sacramento, averaged double figures his very first year, 10 points. In '99, he played in Lithuania and led his team in their pro league to the Lithuania championship.
And we have good news just in on the Indiana Pacers, because they have changed that foul from Travis Best to Sam Perkins. Best nonetheless went to the bench, replaced by Edney, so Best still has 2.
Isaiah Thomas looking for some fast break opportunities. When you bring in a guy like Edney, he's very quick with the basketball from top of the circle to top of the circle. So you're looking to try to get a little spurt here, maybe get out on the break.
Ryan Grant with 10 points continues the hot hand. So Brian Grant now hitting 5 of 7 from the field.
You got to get to him. I mean, how many does he have to make before you get to him and force him to dribble the ball?
Eddie Jones with the steal and misses it, but Green cleans up. So Jalen Rose got a piece of it.
Give Jalen Rose a ton of credit. He ran that down and got a piece and blocked that shot.
Driving is Edney to Crozier. Blocked by Jones. Eddie Jones with 2 terrific defensive plays back-to-back. Green leaves it for Marley for 3. And the crowd was ready to erupt. And it goes over to Indiana. Here's Eddie Jones, perennially the steals leader in the NBA, coming in 7th in the league. So,
he's made up for it already. In his first half.
He's all over the place.
Every time a guy makes a sloppy pass, Eddie Jones has it.
Crozier with a move inside and cannot convert. So
Dick, he's making some great moves to the basketball. He is really attacking the ball.
And Marley will fire another 3. He's missed 2 in the last 2 times down court.
Yeah, you got to get him in game shape. Remember, he missed camp, and now he's missing right now. He missed 27 games, so he is nowhere in game condition.
Derek McKee with the jumper, and the Heat lead cut to 12.
You love the Heat. We told you earlier, when they fast break and take it into the lane, hey, it's not over. They're going to throw the ball back out and take a 3.
House getting it into Grant. Grant's the hot hand, but Perkins defending. 7 on the shot clock. Marley with a long 3. He'll try it from all over the place to get the range. He has missed 3 threes in the last minute and a half. So Tyus Edney, the 3rd point guard to play for the Pacers tonight. Jalen Rose started at that position, and then Travis Best came in. Rose with the ball away. And Rose, who had 31 points and has led the team in scoring 9 of the last 10 games, has missed 6 shots. Has not made any. Eddie House makes one there.
Now that was a tough move. He used his left forearm to bump Edney off the defense. That was a very difficult shot attempt.
22nd timeout called by the Pacers.
If you think Dan Marley is going to stop shooting, you know, you have another thing coming. He already has made over 1,200 threes in his career, and he knows that all he needs is 1 or 2, and everything will be on. That's a great steal by Eddie Jones. That's his athleticism, 6'6", 6'7", long arms in traffic, and then how about this? Oh, baby, from left field with that shot block.
Fouls apiece and had to come out.
Offensive rebounding is the heart of the player. There's no doubt about it. You're going to get blocked out. You're going to be physical contact to go get it. But then also, the offensive sets, you know, it's not always the player. And sometimes the offensive sets do not allow the front court guys to be able to get to the glass.
Jalen Rose off the glass, and he has struggled tonight as Reggie Miller into the game for Indiana. Miller tonight has scored 5, and Jalen Rose 0 for 7 from the field, held scoreless thus far. House with a good pass into A.C. Green, spotted away by McKee. Here is Tyus Edney, and Edney missing the layup. He did everything but score.
There he did. He made a clever move there in order to get off the shot.
House using a green screen, and McKee. You made a good point during the commercial break. We're seeing a lot of action, but no scoring.
Yep. High-spirited play, excellent defense, passing lane, shot blocking. We're seeing a lot of great moves, but the ball is not going in.
Reggie Miller from the corner. So Miller and Rose combined have 5 points in the game. 14-point lead for the Miami Heat. Here is Eddie Jones. What a move by Jones as he changed motion in midair.
That was just an outstanding athletic move.
And coming right back is Jalen Rose, who finally breaks the drought and hits his first basket of the game.
Well, he's having such a sensational year. Jalen Rose is shooting a good percentage, 49% from the field. He's scoring a ton of points right at 25. So, you know, he'll get it going.
House hitting a 3. So that is the third 3-point basket. Tim Hardaway has the other 2 for the Heat, who now lead 42-25.
He's now 4 for 10, but Pat Riley loves his explosiveness. He's working on his game. He said to Pat Riley yesterday, you know, what do I have to do? And Pat Riley says, play. He says, what do you mean? He says, play in the game. He says, play in the game the way you've been working at your game. There's a difference. You know, working at your game doesn't equate to points in the game.
Right.
You got to do it in the game. The fact that he's shooting 84% from the line. Now, that's critical because this is a guy for many years who was in the low 60s, and he's worked at his game to the point now that he's got great confidence and he's shooting it at 84%.
So Mason back in the game. Bowen as well. So Bowen and Jones with Hardaway, who has 2 threes tonight and 8 points in the game. Indiana bringing their big people back to have foul trouble, and Jones comes off the screen and hits 8 points for Eddie Jones.
Now that was a great play coming out of a timeout. They designed that, a misdirection play to make a diagonal pass for a long jump.
Jermaine O'Neal fouled, so O'Neal and Jonathan Bender, who went to the bench early with 2 fouls, back in there. And O'Neal will go to the free throw line, and the 3rd personal foul on Brian Grant. So that was a big play for the Pacers as A.C. Green getting set to come in and sit Grant down.
Now this young guy has a ton of talent because of his size. He's 6'11", he's long, and you can see when he comes into the lane, he's quick off of that move with the back to the basket. Now once he develops a little baby jump hook with the left hand and the right hand, Dick, this guy is really going to be tough.
And he's improved his free throw shooting. O'Neal at 58%, much better than he was earlier. And Isaiah Thomas said, we're going to end practice with Jermaine O'Neal on the line, and if he misses, the players have to run sprints. He improved from the line, and he's going to help his concentration a great deal. Makes 1 out of 2 here.
When you go in at halftime, the big thing to talk about with Indiana, you're getting good looks at the basket. Let's just cut down on the turnovers, and let's get some offensive rebounding if we can get back in this game.
9 on the shot clock, and the Pacers foul. And Derek McKee committing the foul.
Now in Derek McKee, Sam Perkins, Reggie Miller, you have 2 guys with 13 years, and then Sam Perkins with 16 years of experience. Then you have all of these other young players on this Indiana team.
Kicked away by Mason, and the lead pass to McKee. Bowen tried to steal it. Rose to Bender, and Bender, he was held as he went up to attempt the shot. Looked like not quite ready for that pass from Jalen Rose. Well, tomorrow on TBS, the MicronPC.com Bowl, not far from here at Pro Players Stadium here in Miami, pitting the Minnesota Golden Gophers against the North Carolina State Wolfpack and freshman sensation Phillip Rivers. All the action begins tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on TBS.
Anytime that you have fouls to give against Indiana, and you have Bender or O'Neal going to the rim, you should foul them because they are both low foul shooters. O'Neal in the 50s, Bender in the low 60s.
That was his first point of the game, and now he has his second, the pick by the Toronto Raptors, the 5th overall selection in '99, and then traded to the Pacers for Antonio Davis.
Now we just saw a 1-2-2, 3-quarter court trap. They never got a strong trap. Indiana took care of it easy, getting the ball to the middle of the floor.
Miami by 14. They've led all the way. Indiana was down by as many as 17. And there is Hardaway trying to get a foul, driving in. And the Pacers coming back. They had cut the lead to 9. And here is Bender with the athletic move. Comes up empty in a 3-on-1 for the Heat. But Hardaway overruns the ball. And Bender coming in Bowen. Here's Jones for 3. And Bender fighting his own man O'Neal for the rebound with nearly a half a minute to go in the half. Bender with 2 points, O'Neal with 5, each with 2 personal fouls. So Isaiah Thomas unable to use that big lineup much in his first half. 7 on the shot clock. Bender fouled on the reach-in by Eddie Jones.
Now, Bender is 6'11", and you have to understand he's got long arms. His jumping ability, all he needs is 1 step, and he can go 2.5 feet above the rim on the backboard. Just 1 step, Dick. We're not talking about a running start. Dead start, boom, 1 step up. So you know this young guy is blessed with a lot of talent. Now, they tell you he's a great shooter in all the shooting drills. But so far, he has not been able to take it from the shooting drills to the game.
Native of Picayune Memorial High School in Mississippi, 45 miles north of New Orleans. And coming up on the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley will run down all of tonight's NBA action. And of course, more on Grant Hill's season-ending surgery and a preview of Kenny's chat with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Bender with the free throws, cutting the Heat lead to 12, and Miami playing for the last shot of the half. Hardaway guarded by Miller. Jones and Marley go in the corner. I think they call it 1-4. Coaching Marley. Marley misses the 3. Green tips it in. Oh, wow. AC Green with the tip in. And time running down, and Jalen Rose fires it up and hits the rim. And that'll do it. But the Miami Heat leading all the way. Heat Brian Grant, along with Anthony Mason, Eddie Jones, Bruce Bowen, and Tim Hardaway for the Indiana Pacers. They're going with their starting lineup of Jalen Rose, Jermaine O'Neal, Jeff Foster, Jonathan Bender, and Reggie Miller, who's guarding Hardaway.
The only thing I did not like about the Miami offense, they attempted 11 threes in the first half. That's too many.
Brian Grant misses the first attempt. And Indiana with the ball. The Pacers, as we said, 5-10 on the road coming into this game. And Miami not that impressive at home. They're only 7-6 here at American Airlines Arena, so they can be had. Here's O'Neal. Out to Rose. Back to O'Neal on the repost. Double team. They go back out to Rose with 2 on the shot clock, and he hits. No way can your man continue to double team the post. If the post man throws it out and you let him reset, you go back in. If he doubles, you're wide open. Meat and potato basketball, Dick. Mason on the low post, and Miller respecting Hardaway from the perimeter. The spacing not good right now for the Miami Heat. And here is Hardaway firing, and the air ball on the 3.
Yeah, right now he's 2 for 5 in threes. And what you do not like about this, they are now 3 for 12. Now you say, well, what's the big deal about all that? The big deal is that you can get higher percentage shots because you are continually beating them off the dribble, and you're in the paint. It's almost like they're overpassing.
Jermaine O'Neal with single coverage by Mason, who knocks the ball away. And good recovery by O'Neal, but he stepped out of bounds.
Tough break. That's a tough break. That's why we brought up that point when Mason. Whenever Mason picks up a post guy and you go to take a jump shot, he's going to go for that strip. He knocked that ball a deflection, and it forced O'Neal to pick it up out of bounds.
Here is Bowen. Passes up the 3. Good passing, ball movement, and Hardaway. And again, you're going to talk about the 3s that are attempted.
Yeah. You like to see him all
Mason with a block by Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal on the block. He is 4th in the NBA in block shots, and Jalen Rose flips the defense and gets the basket. So Indiana making a move.
Oh, yeah, they'll be there because Charles Barkley made a great point. Miami plays like New York. They always let you back in the game. So just take care.
Oh, yeah, you got to take care of Eddie Jones. Well, get in his way. You know?
He's blowing by Reggie Miller, okay? And the other point is that there's no help. The rotating guy is not there for Indiana.
Jones with 10 points. Remember, he's coming off of successive 31-point scoring games. Is Eddie Jones. Jonathan Bender is knocked away by Jones and knocked out of bounds.
Young players are not going to get calls. You know that. Rookie guys are young players in the league. Jermaine O'Neal and Bender, they will continue to go to the basket like Bender looked there. He says, hey, I got fouled. Well, we know you got fouled. But what the referees are going to do, they're going to make you show us that you have more than just a bump game. We bump you when you lose the basketball.
Foul was on Hardaway and O'Neal on the line. So Jermaine O'Neal, 58% free throw shooter. 1 for 3 now.
They shot that in sections. and I'm serious. It was not a very smooth move. From the catch off the dribble, it was not a smooth follow-through on the shot.
There you see, was the youngest player at one point in the NBA to play a game, and now Jonathan Bender, who's up front, is the 4th youngest in 19 years and 11 months. Al Harrington, we haven't seen tonight in 20 years, nearly 21. So an 11-point Miami lead, and Jones has it deflected by Foster, and a 4-on-2 now. Bowen gets in the picture, and it's off the hands of Rose. Here's O'Neal again. So you heard Isaiah Thomas tell Reggie Theus, we got to get the ball inside more. Not as many perimeter shots. And here is O'Neal working against Anthony Mason. And he's determined, isn't he? Gets the basket.
Mason using his body strength, his lower body strength to bump him and to continue to knock him out. O'Neal would be better off to catch the ball, turn and face Mason, give him the pump fake, and then go from there.
O'Neal now with 8 is the high scorer for the Indiana Pacers. Who trailed by 9. Eddie Jones from the outside, and Grant comes out of the pack with it. 3.5 gone by in this third quarter. And here is Grant working up and under against Jermaine O'Neal. And the 2 former Trailblazers going at it.
Now, that's just a heady player. That's a guy, determined. He was giving away a lot of size, but he's got a power move. As soon as he stepped in, he gave you the ball fake, made you commit, and stepped under.
And Miller misses a 3 as Miami getting the job done on the offensive boards, as you saw, and on time on the defensive glass, leading by 11. Hardaway going around Rose, leaving Bowen open. He hits a 3, and that's the 4th for the Heat tonight.
Well, they've been waiting for Bowen. I told you before, he's struggling. He's only shooting 30% in field goals, 31% in threes. This is a guy who drills them in practice. They're looking for him to break out.
Miller with the fall away. Miller and Rose have been way off tonight. Miller with 7 and Rose with 6, but they're picking it up here in the third quarter. Hardaway in the lane. Plenty of time on the clock. Jones slamming into Foster. No foul called, and the ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Pacers. And there is Isaiah Thomas, no longer with that familiar smile on his face, saying that there should have been a charging foul as Al Harrington comes into the game for the first time.
See, when you're coaching, Dick, you want to call one way or the other. Make a call. There was plenty of body contact.
The 2-point attempt missed by Hardaway. And a 12-point lead. There's Al Harrington. Now 20 years and about 10 months. Harrington missing from the corner. So that's exactly what Isaiah Thomas does not want. The Pacers effective when they work the ball inside here in this third quarter. Mason foul trying to drive to the basket, and that may be against O'Neal. And if it is, and it is, it'll be his third.
Mason and Brian Grant always give you a ball fake first. Then they see what you are going to do defensively, and then they will counteract it. Night long.
Jones and Grant in double figures. Mason with 9 rebounds to help the cause for the Miami Heat. Looking at the big 3. First last year with the Miami Heat. Jones finds Hardaway, and an air ball. Hardaway has a couple of errant shots that didn't hit anything in this quarter.
Well, he was yelling to the guy that was a pass. You know, he was looking for the guy to move, but to everyone in the building, it looked like a shot misdirected.
Brian Grant has picked up his 4th foul, and that could be a factor for Pat Riley here as he rushes in AC Green. And Green in this game is still contributing after over 1,100 games, 9.6 rebounds in the second quarter alone.
AC Green and House both came in and made a solid contribution in that first half.
Here is Jalen Rose, double team Al Harrington. Green allows him to shoot from outside to his regret as Harrington scores his first point.
Now Harrington, they're looking to get his game together. Back surgery this summer. He has not played with any type of a consistency this season.
Here's Jones guarded by Bender and running into a screen picked up by O'Neal on the switch. Mason tried the soft touch, and the Pacers come out with it. Here is Reggie Miller. Miami gets back defensively, and Miller throws it away. The Pacers claiming it was deflected off of a Heat player to no avail.
As Reggie Miller got to the open floor, Rose moved from that spot where the referee, Gary Benson, was standing, and Reggie threw the ball right to the referee.
10-point lead, and Indiana hanging in there in this game, and an offensive foul is called on Eddie Jones as he tried to cut through, and Jones picking up the foul, but the Indiana Pacers, trailing throughout this game, can cut it to single digits.
Oh, they're close, Dick, and they're still playing poorly. Nothing is smooth to them. Their offense is definitely out of whack. It's not smooth.
Oh! Rose missing, getting the shot, so again isolating, and everything stops dead when they do that.
Yeah, and they still are not getting any second shots.
Eddie Jones with a nifty move. He's had some great moves inside tonight, and 12 for Eddie Jones. So he and Grant are the scoring leaders with 12.
Anytime that Miller picks him up in the open floor, he's taking him off the dribble. And then Bender, he is taking to school all night.
There's Harrington. And trying to keep it alive is O'Neal, but into the hands of AC Green. So a 12-point lead with under 5 minutes remaining in the third. Miami able to keep Indiana from getting it into single digits.
Pretty.
Eddie Jones from Tim Hardaway, and a beauty as Alonzo Mourning gets up to cheer his team.
Anytime that you run a curl, see right now they're just running this to death. Pat Riley, you've got a heady player like Eddie Jones. Just watch him just run this curl. See, Bender is following him. He's getting no help for Harrington. And what happens? You're giving up the layup.
14 for Eddie Jones. Showtime. Well, Eddie Jones with 14 points on 6 of 13 shooting, as we said. 31 points in each of the last 2 games, and he went to the line 16 times in their last win against New Jersey.
Well, Pat's going to him, and unless Bender changes his coverage, he will continue to go to that spot because it's definitely a weak link, and they're getting good shot attempts.
Jermaine O'Neal, defended by Anthony Mason, trying to cover the baseline against O'Neal. Double teamed, O'Neal fouled anyway.
O'Neal is very comfortable taking the ball to his right with that left hand, going into the middle of the floor. Then he is trying to continue to just out-jump Mason. When he develops that left-handed jump hook or catch the ball, turn and face the basket, he will put Mason in a really difficult defensive situation.
Isaiah Thomas says that Jermaine O'Neal will be an all-star, but as a power forward, not the center position he's playing now.
Well, that's his vision for down the road. Now, can they develop a center? Well, we know that Tabak has the flu, so he's not playing tonight, and he's 7 foot. We know that they do not have anyone else in their system who can play the center position, and until that time, this young man must play there. But you're absolutely right, that as a power forward, you know, this guy would be blessed because he's very quick.
And O'Neal, the first pacer to hit double figures as the Heat lead by 12.
Now here's that 1-2-2, and nothing's happening because the Heat take it up and then right into the middle and negates it.
Bowen with an air ball on the 3.
But if they continue to get you to take jump shots, that's just as good. Set up that trap every single time if they'll take a jump shot.
Jalen Rose, and the foul called against Jalen Rose on the charge.
Yeah, good call. He cleared him away with his right forearm. He's feeling he's just frustrated tonight. You know, when you think of Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose 3 for 16 at halftime, right now they are 6 for 21.
And you kind of say, well, we're going to get these two guys scoring. Now we know about where the other point's going to come from.
That's right.
Well, they're not getting it from these two. At least not yet. 7 on the shot clock. Hardaway with a pick and spot up to Anthony Mason. Only his second basket of the game.
These veteran guys, anytime they run screen and roll, they go to the right spot ups. The spacing is perfect. Anytime a guy dribbles into the paint, they spot up perfectly. They stretch the defense time and time again.
Miller trying to feed the post, and Bruce Bowen committing the first.
Bruce Bowen, the second.
QB mentioned Bruce Bowen getting the start tonight as Pat Riley thinks defense first when he makes the starting lineup.
Well, you always have to have guys who are going to have a back seat from the offensive end, and that's what Bowen will do because he has enough shooters out there on that first unit.
Jalen Rose from the baseline, and the lead is 12, but the Heat have kept the Indiana Pacers at arm's length. Indiana did cut it to 9 a couple of times, but not in this third quarter. Jones leads it for A.C. Green, who hits. Wide open. Green with 11 off the bench.
And once again, he followed him on the curl. You cannot continue to do that. You've got to shoot the gap. Beat him to the spot. Change up your defense.
Here's Rose missing a 3 badly, and the Heat coming out of it. And it just may be, unless Indiana wakes up, it's not their night. Green with the lay-in. So A.C. Green coming off the bench with 13 points, and well sprinkled in each of the first 3 quarters.
It's like a guy playing snooker. That one crawled up the board and it came over the top of the rim.
Bender coming back with a jumper. Jonathan Bender, who has 6. He was in early foul trouble tonight, so he has only 6 points. 63 to 49 in favor of the Miami Heat. Nearing 2 minutes to go in this third quarter as Reggie Miller fouls Tim Hardaway. Want to remind you, coming up tomorrow, the NBA on TNT, and a couple of the Western Powers. The Portland Trailblazers go against the Utah Jazz. Jazz leading by a game and a half in the Midwest Division, and Portland just a half a game behind the Lakers, who are second behind Sacramento in the Pacific. It all begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT.
Now, last night, Philly with a big win in Utah. And then Portland with a big win on Sunday in L.A.
What about A.C. Green with a big win in his career?
Well, you know, it's really great because he's looking for his shot tonight. Most of the season, all he will do is play defense and rebound. Tonight, they needed the scoring. Tonight, he's giving it.
He's got 15 to lead the Miami Heat. Miller coming back with 2. We have yet to see one of those patented Miller streaks going. He has 9 points. Miami leading by 14. It seems to be a broken record tonight to say the Heat up by 14, but that's the way it's been. Mason leaving it out for Hardaway, and Hardaway in and out. So out of bounds. Last touch by Indiana. Hardaway has missed his last 7 from the field.
You know, the bad point of that last play, Mason has Travis Best playing. He gets double teamed. He throws it out to Hardaway. Hardaway forces up the 3 with plenty of time on the clock. Best was still playing behind Mason. Right back into Mason and let Mason work.
So Best guarding Hardaway and coming around the screen, and Eddie Jones trying to get it to A.C. Green, throws it away.
See, that's a point of I'm curling off the screen and roll. I expect you to roll. Instead, A.C. Green steps back and spots up.
Travis Best, nothing doing, and the rebound by Eddie Jones. With under a minute remaining in the third quarter, Miami has led all the way. We're up by as many as 17 in the second quarter. Indiana's cut it to 9. That was also in the second quarter. Has 9 on the shot clock. Hardaway against Bender. Stolen by Reggie Miller. for Reggie Miller, so he's doing it defensively tonight. 17 on the shot clock. You watch the game clock on the right. Miller tried a touch reverse layup. Did not go. And Hardaway with the no look to Bowen. Well, nearly a careless pass to the front court and an alley-oop from Miller to Harrington, and Harrington is fouled. I think Reggie Miller saw that Harrington had Hardaway right there, and of course Harrington at 6'9".
It's always dangerous, Dick. It's always dangerous when there's a defensive guy close to the man who you're throwing the pass to. Now just watch this. See, there's a bump. Harrington goes down, and he hurts his hand. And you can see right now, he is really bothered with his left hand. Fell right on that hand. Now, all you have to do is take the ball to the basket. The defender either gives you a layup. If he comes to you, you dish it off. Guy makes a nice, easy layup. The only trouble is it doesn't make the highlight films.
Neither will that last free throw by Harrington.
Oh, I tell you, he got hurt. You're going to see him right now. See, he's going to fall down. See, and then boom, all of a sudden now, he is holding the hand. He's holding the hand.
Derek McKee replaces Jonathan Bender. Harrington connects on 1 out of 2. And there's some bleeding, so Harrington's going to have to go to the bench automatically with a cut on his wrist, it seems. And coming into the game will be Jeff Foster.
Substitution for infectious control for the Pacers, Jeff Foster in the game.
Now keep an eye as the hand goes back. It hits right there. Hits a camera right there on the baseline. See, with all the camera people that we have in the NBA working, all of the cable situations that are going on, plus our own national televising, you have a lot of camera guys down and around the stanchion. So it's always a dangerous place when you throw lob passes in congested areas.
Well, whoever expected that A.C. Green would be focused in this game, especially at this point as the leading scorer for the Miami Heat with 15 points.
Lacking on D. Reggie just ain't hitting, but you know, I'm still having a good time watching it though.
Now we can ask you this question. You know a lot about basketball. You're obviously an accomplished actor. What is the correlation between sports and acting?
And it's all about hot choices and winning, man. It's all about trying to win. You know, a good game plan and just it's the same thing. I mean, it's definitely it translates into the same thing of just going after something, trying to find different ways of getting it, and whoever wants it the most, that's the person that's going to get it.
You working on a new movie?
Yeah, I'm working on a film with Robin Williams called 1 Hour Photo, so I'm doing that simultaneously with ER.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Dick?
Well, you can see ER reruns on TNT, and good to see Eric LaSalle out there as we start the 4th quarter. And Dan Marley is into the game for the Heat. Austin Crozier has come in for the Indiana Pacers. And talking about Reggie Miller, who is 4 for 11 from the field in this game. Here's Crozier losing the ball and trying to hustle to get it is Jones, and he knocks it out of bounds.
The Miami defense, very active with their feet and then their hands. It's amazing how many deflections they get in one possession. Now that was just a beautiful deflection away from Crozier as he had his man beat coming across into the lane.
Eddie House has replaced Tim Hardaway, who scored all 8 of his points, including a pair of threes in the 1st quarter. And Marley forces a jump ball with Travis Best. Great alert play by Dan Marley, and they come to expect it here.
Dan Marley on the all-defensive team, twice during his career. We know that he had an outstanding 7 years in Phoenix, 1 in Cleveland, down here in Miami with 4. You know, you want the three-point shooting with Dan, you want the slashing, but ever since he's had back surgery and leg surgery, you know, we don't see him go to the basket as much as early in his career.
For a while, didn't practice at all. Pat Riley said, you just show up for games and be here. He understood what he could do. 6 on the shot clock. Mason out to Dan Marley. Misses the 3. And the foul called against the Pacers as Al Harrington and A.C. Green both hit the floor. The foul is against Harrington.
Well, Harrington's a ball. You know, you're talking about a young player, only 20 years of age, 6'9", ton of talent, but he had back surgery over the summer, and since then, he's having difficulty getting back into the swing of things. Now, he is in a real fight for time right now. because you can say Crozier, you can say Bender, and you can say Harrington, all fighting for key minutes at that small forward position.
You talk about a back injury, and of course Isaiah Thomas knew about former teammate Woodson Mahorn, 2 former teammates who had knee injuries. He's not the same. When you have a back injury, it's with you all the time. You can't handle it like other injuries.
Well, you remember Larry Bird at the end of his career, the incredible pain, where he would always have to lie down when they'd take him out of the game.
House at the point. Pat Riley likes this man's potential, rookie from Arizona State. Green with 1 on the shot clock, and they won't get it off. In fact, there'll be a steal. 2-on-1. Best and Harrington, the fake pass, and Best lays it in.
You don't need a lob in that situation. You got a 2-on-1. Make the defender commit. You saw what happened? Most of the time, the guy will fake and go with the other man, and you keep the dribble and lay it up yourself.
11-point lead for the Heat as Best knocks the pass out of bounds. So just about 2 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter, and Indiana hanging in there. They've been down by as many as 17. They cut it to 9 with 7 minutes left in the second, but mostly it's been about a 14-point Heat lead.
They've never had a spurt, Dick. They've never had an 8-0, 9-0, 9-1 type of a spurt.
I think 7-2 was the best they've had. Mason working his way in around Crozier.
That was just sheer muscle. Muscle and determination to get it off.
13-point Miami lead in the opening minutes as Miami beating the Indiana Pacers at points in the paint by 4. Crozier runs into a brick wall. Marley doing a good job on him, and the turnaround, tough shot by Austin Crozier.
Austin Crozier, when he was at Providence, had a great game with his back to the basket. He was a 3-point shooter. He's a post-up guy. And you know he has an outstanding, explosive first step to the basket off the dribble. This guy's going to do a real good job throughout his career.
Double team on House, leaving Mason free. House missed the 3, and Green trying to keep it alive, and it's last touch by Dan Marley.
Up until now, the Miami defense, they've been able to suffocate the offensive flow of Indiana because they seem to be able to guess and with their anticipation beat them to the spots. Guys are not opening up off the screens.
And they've been consistent with it too as Miller beats Harrington in one of the few good passing moves. The Pacers with 13, 19, and 20 points in each of the first 3 quarters, but a 20-second timeout called by Miami.
Yeah, I like this timeout right now. Pat Riley says, hey, they just ran a screen. How come we have 2 guys on Reggie Miller and no one on the screener?
Well, Indiana's cut it to 9 once again. Pacers on a 9-2 run as Pat Riley called the timeout. It is a 67-58 game with just under 9 minutes to go. So we have not seen Reggie Miller or Jalen Rose at their best yet. It's only a 9-point game with plenty of time remaining. Marley with House, Mason, Green, and Eddie Jones.
You're looking for Indiana to really button up here right now. Force a bad percentage shot and then hold them to 1 shot attempt.
Marley looking inside for Mason. Defended by Al Harrington. Good job done by Harrington, but the Heat still get the ball as we send it over to Reggie.
Hey, guys, not only are the Pacers playing poor, they're getting banged up. Al Harrington with a cut on his left hand, and Jonathan Bender has a right ankle sprain, and he's in the locker room right now getting evaluated and taped, and he is questionable whether he's going to come back and play again tonight, guys.
All right, Reggie, thank you. Bender with 6 points, picked up 2 early fouls tonight after his career high of 20 on Christmas Day against Orlando. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Mason gives it out to Jones, and House hitting the 3, and that is his second of the game, and Miami has 5 3-pointers.
They're so dangerous because they have not one guy, they have a number of guys who can shoot the 3, and it's nice to see House hit that because the previous one was an air ball. It's good for his confidence.
So Miami, according to my partner, needed 6 threes. They've got 5 of them now, as Crozier, working inside, has it stripped away by Mason.
That's his 3rd strip of the night.
Jones,
he got
fouled by McKee.
Yes, indeed. He got tripped. Fortunately for McKee, that was excellent transition defense by McKee. He hustled back. He got good position on Eddie, but his foot, just keep an eye on it now. Now just watch to the right. You'll see the foot step right in, and there it is right there, and Eddie just stumbles on his way up.
Jalen Rose, who has scored only 8 points into the game now. Rose, the leading scorer for the Pacers, at nearly 25 a game.
Derek McKee and Travis Best came in that first half, made solid contributions. Both guys came in 6 points and did a nice job within their position.
14-point lead. How many times have you said that tonight for the Miami Heat? 7:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Harrington seeing a lot of second half action with a spin move, and Eddie Jones on the wrist with the personal.
Well, he's just too big and strong for Eddie once he comes out of that spin move. We're talking about a young guy. You know, he's really built an upper body, and we told you earlier, he's 6'9", 250 pounds. So when he comes out of that spin, he has Eddie on his back, and he can just take him to the rim.
Harrington hits the first free throw. Brian Grant back into the game now. Grant went to the bench with 4 fouls, and the reason why Miami was able to function as well is because A.C. Green has done a great job off the bench with 15 points and tremendous play from end to end tonight.
Pratt Riley is looking at his front line that he's hoping for the future. Marley in there now trying to play himself into shape, along with Brian Grant and Anthony Mason.
Bruce Bowen in for Eddie Jones with a 12-point Miami lead here in the fourth quarter.
See, Bowen can play defensively at any one of the perimeter positions.
And Mason, and that's no basket. An offensive foul against the Miami Heat, apparently. That basket does not count. And we'll get the call for you. Or a violation. I think it was a turnover committed by Mason. Best over House. And every time Indiana right on the verge of getting it to 10 or under 10, they take a perimeter shot at this.
And there's so much time left on the shot clock. But then, like we said, Miami's defense.
Watch out. And 2 of the Pacers land on Brian Grant.
Yeah, he took him down.
Putting Jermaine O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning up to see what's going on. And Isaiah Thomas on the floor right now, as is Pat Riley.
Well, they're going to cut down. I can't believe that that's not going to be a flagrant foul. Now, Isaiah Thomas is upset on the call. He knows what Mike Callahan called.
It'll be Harrington.
Oh,
and he's out.
Threw him out of the game.
Harrington has been tossed. A flagrant foul. And Al Harrington is out of the game.
Yeah, but what they're giving him now is they're going to give him the 2 and the ball, saying that he deliberately tried to hurt him by taking him down. Just keep an eye on it. There it is right there. Now he just takes him down very strong. Now, unfortunately, O'Neal was up in the air for the shot block, and he lands right on top of Grant. Watch to the left. You see how high O'Neal was? Well, because of the way that Harrington spun him in there, just watch O'Neal. He just lands right on top of Grant.
Grant's lucky he wasn't hurt, as he has missed the free throws, and Al Harrington going into the dressing room.
Now, Indiana taking first Isaiah, then Brendan Malone, the assistant coach, on Mike Callahan, trying to tell him that was not a deliberate. He was not trying to hurt him. What it was a hard foul.
It was plus.
Yes.
1 free throw for Grant. He has 13 points, and the Heat getting the ball, leading by 13 points. Marley will inbound the House. Travis Best defending against House. Grant. O'Neal did not go for the fake by Grant. The double team. House for 3. He's hit a couple tonight, but not that time.
Well, when young players come out of college, making the college 3 is such an easy shot, and all of a sudden you come here to the NBA and you got to make it's another full step deeper.
9 on the shot clock. Jermaine O'Neal working his way in. It doesn't go. All he needs
game with his back to the basket. And whether he goes to the Pete Newell big man camp in the summertime or the coaching staff works with him, as soon as they give him some key moves, Dick, this young guy is going to be a handful.
It looks that way, and a great pickup for Donnie Walsh and the Indiana Pacers as Travis Best picking up his 4th personal foul. And this is a young team. And talking to Donnie Walsh before the game, the general manager, he says, we didn't want to have a whole rebuilding job. We think these young guys are going to develop. We didn't want to go down to 15 wins. And they definitely have a plan in Indiana.
We brought out the point at the top of the show. 11 of the 14 guys are over 6'9". 3 are at 6'9", 3 at 6'10", 3 at 6'11", and 2 at 7 foot. Now, most teams in this league are struggling for big people. Now, to give you an example, Miami only has 6 guys, 6'9" or better. So you're talking about a ton of people. Well, the other answer to that is, yeah, they don't have enough quickness. They don't have quickness. Guys at 6'6", 6'7" to play those perimeter spots. Enough of them. That would be the other side of the coin.
I know. But they have a plan to go with it. They're happy to see that their teenagers are 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". Jalen Rose is fouled, and he'll go to the line. This is Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller. They are well under their production totals, and despite the shooting and the 3 points and the points, Jalen Rose is going to the free throw line for only the first time tonight, and he came into the game 6th in the league at 91% from the stripe.
It's such a big factor because Rose is averaging 25 points, Reggie Miller 21. Indiana has 5 guys in double figures. But we can see tonight what their problem is. And that's why we said at the top of the show, they do not take care of their defensive rebounding, and they have to cut down on their turnovers. Two major issues. Then, if you are going to have a young team with this much size, you must become an excellent offensive rebounding team. And tonight, Miami closed the door. They're taking care of that defensive door.
2 offensive rebounds for Indiana, and it is a 12-point game, 74-62. The Heat, they have led from the get-go tonight.
They've been in this trap. Now, they have not had a decent trap yet. Miami takes their time. They get it into the middle, and now it's a man-to-man matchup.
Marley for 3.
Can't throw it in here.
Grant trying to keep it alive, and does. Great hustle by Grant as a bunch of blue shirts trying to strip the ball away. And a new clock as we get close to the 5-minute mark here in the 4th quarter.
You see, they wanted to post Mason on Reggie Miller.
And the foul is on Derek McKee here.
And Pat Riley was jumping up and down. He was pointing because they had the mismatch. See, this is such a good veteran team that, yeah, sure, you have a lot of new people, but these are new people with a ton of playoff experience. So when they get a mismatch, they see it. The coach yells it, but they've already seen it.
But you got to go back to before the season started. This team loses Alonzo Mourning. They figure with Mourning and the changes, this team is ready to roll in the Eastern Conference. They lose Alonzo Mourning, and the spirit of this team, that's when you said Riley's doing maybe the best coaching job.
How about this? Mashburn's at Charlotte. He averaged 18 a game here. Brown's at Charlotte. He averaged 10. Leonard's at Denver. He averaged 12. Witherspoon's at Cleveland. He averaged 7. All of these guys are having banner seasons in other places.
And Miami's having what they hope to be a banner year. If they win this game, they'll be 3 over, or 3 straight wins, and 2 over the 500 mark.
Right now, Indiana, they still are sitting in this 2-2-1.
Mason off the mark, and O'Neal the rebound. So a chance now to cut it to 10.
Striking distance. You've been on that all night. They get there, and then all of a sudden, boom, it'll be back to your favorite number, 14.
14. And we had it a few moments ago before the free throws. I didn't want to interrupt you. I needed my lottery number tonight is 15 mentions of a 14-point lead. Anyway, Mason committing the foul as Eddie Jones checks back into the game, replacing Dan Marley. So Bowen, along with House, Jones, Mason, and Grant out there, and we'll see Tim Hardaway check in a moment. Marley, questionable as to whether he would return. Did practice the other day for the Heat. And Jermaine O'Neal. And here comes Tim Hardaway, and Eddie House goes out. House has more than held the fort tonight at point guard for Miami.
Did a nice job, Dick. His quickness forced the Indiana team to always react, and then with their great spacing and ball movement, he set everyone up. And then by making the 2 threes, that really gave them breathing room.
O'Neal with the free throws, and it's an 11-point Miami lead.
Now here's the trap. It's a 2-2-1. See, they just don't give you that solid trap. They make you waste a few seconds off the clock, then they're right back into a matchup man-to-man.
Miller on Hardaway. Kicked by Miller with 6 on the shot clock, so now Miami has 14.
That's right. That's a new rule that they put in a year ago, and it's an excellent rule. It does not penalize the defense by putting it all the way back to 24 seconds.
Here is Eddie Jones with the ball away over the bigger O'Neal, and it falls for him. So 18 for Eddie Jones, who had only 1 point after the first quarter.
That was like a nonchalant down-the-park shot. You know, I'm not warmed up yet. I just want to break the sweat.
And Indiana will turn it off, and McKee picking up his 5th personal foul. 1 more, and he's gone, and a technical foul has been called against McKee. Normally a placid, docile player, but he gets the technical right here.
Yeah, Derek's been around a long time, 13 years. You know, he always was an outstanding scorer, anywhere between 12 and 17 a game throughout most of his career.
But not a holler guy.
No, absolutely not. Out of the University of Alabama, had a great career. And you can see if he's saying something, you know that he's probably right about what he's complaining about.
Eddie Jones with the technical free throw, 19. And it's 79-66 in favor of the Heat with under 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Miami has never trailed tonight. Here is Eddie Jones, leaves it for Grant from the baseline. Mason with a big offensive rebound. And Jones for 3, Eddie Jones. And there you got it, Hubie. You said the Miami Heat needed 6 threes tonight, and they've got them now on Jones' basket.
Dick, they do not get very many fast break baskets. So where they get their points, they are not a great offensive rebounding team. They're 29th. They don't get them out on the fast break, but where they get their extra points, in the 3-point game. Now, Hardaway, Bowen, Eddie Jones, House, Dan Marley. You have 5 guys who can shoot a good percentage for you in the 3-point game.
And so the stat teams, McMillan really lit a fire under this team. They're 9-5, but Seattle 15-14, Houston 1 game under.
Well, the Seattle team started out with many more road games. Seattle and Portland had 3 times the amount of road games than anyone else before Paul Westphal was fired. Then they're making up. The schedule has been in their favor. Nate's doing a good job. He made a couple of quick moves. He put McCoy in the starting lineup, took Baker out, and then also they had a change in the backcourt. So they have quickness in there and better defense.
Meanwhile, the Pacers get 2 back. Travis Best in double figures. Jermaine O'Neal has 12, and Rose and Best have 10. Reggie Miller with 9 points. 14-point lead. Eddie Jones rims the basket on a 3. And the Pacers trying to make a late run with under 3 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. And the lead is what?
No, I don't want to say it. Okay. Here we go.
Crozier, and it's a 11-point lead, a 3-pointer by Crozier.
This 2-2-1 zone press. Miami has good spacing. But remember, if you take your time, you can get the jump shot anytime you want. The big key here right now is A, not turn it over, and don't live with a jump shooting game.
And here's Reggie Miller, and he misses a 3. So Crozier hit the team's first 3-point basket moments ago. Miller has missed 2 in a row.
Not tonight. It's not in the cards tonight for Reggie or Rose. Neither guy can get going. See, the 2-2-1 has done a nice job because Miami, they just don't want to run the clock.
Here's Bowen driving baseline and fouled by Crozier and Bowen. And Crozier and Miller going after Bruce Bowen.
One thing that we have today in basketball in the NBA is everybody gets upset with a hard foul. If these guys ever played back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, a lot of them would not be able to play because they wouldn't be able to complain all the time because this was a normal foul.
A flagrant foul called against Reggie Miller, so that is the second flagrant foul called against the Pacer tonight. Miller here, Al Harrington before, who was ejected midway through this fourth quarter.
The most difficult.
Look at this one.
Yeah, a difficult call that we're having today is this flagrant foul stuff. If I go for the shot block, if I go for a shot block, which I thought both of those guys did do, when he went strong to the basket, yeah, they went hard, but they went for the block. Yeah, it's such a fine call. It's like a charged block call. It's so fine. How do you decide that it's a flagrant? All right, now just watch. They go up. They're up there with the shot.
It looks like they want to get the ball.
Now you say, well, Reggie Miller grabbed him on the way down. On the way down.
And Miller is gone. Reggie Miller has been ejected now.
Well, he got in his sayings, but Mark Wunderlich just threw him out of the game. And he's going to pay for it. And that's just frustration. Reggie's had a very tough night shooting tonight. It's been a very difficult loss to this team because they were never able to ever get into any type of a groove.
Eddie Jones missed the free throw. Reggie Miller, 4 of 13 from the field, only 9 points. And he is tossed by Mark Wunderlich. So Al Harrington and Reggie Miller both ejected in this game tonight, and an 84-71 lead. We saw Isaiah Thomas with a bit of a smile talking to Tim Hardaway, but he's not smiling inside. We'll be back. Expounding on Reggie Theus, of course, talking about not so much the old days, but the old days. Reggie?
Well, you know what? Back in the old days, back in the day, actually, when you go to the hole more than 2 times, the third time you go to the bucket and make a basket, other team would tell their big guys to show you the lights. It was just the way we played. Am I right, Hubie?
Oh, absolutely, Reg. Come on. I mean, you know, we used to foul guys if anybody threw the layup. The closest guy to the guy got a foul.
And to me, in a lot of ways, I think that's something that's lacking from the game, a little more physicality out there. Not fighting, just the physical play.
Does anyone ever remember Jungle Jim Loskett?
Oh, come on. What he did? One of the toughest guys ever to play in the league.
Tyus Edney into the game, steals, but misses the layup. The follow by Travis Best. So it's an 11-point game, folks. 1:48 to go. And Indiana is lurking, and they're going to call the blocking foul on Jalen Rose at midcourt.
The player, when he's in the air making a catch, has the right to land. And that time, Jalen Rose just got underneath him.
So the Heat shooting the penalty as they've had for the last several moments, and Bowen going to the line. A reminder that tomorrow night on TNT, the Portland Trail Blazers and the Utah Jazz. That'll be a good matchup at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on TNT.
Anytime anyone is pressing and trapping you, you must make your foul shots down the line.
1 out of 2. No, he missed them both.
Right? You hit a 3, Dick. We still fought more than a minute and a half.
Crozier hits the 3.
There it is.
Austin Crozier, and it's 8-point game, and that's the closest that the Indiana Pacers have been since the first quarter. It is an 84-76 game, a minute and a half to go. Grant gets 2 back as they beat the pressure with Jones hitting Brian Grant, and Grant has 15. And they'll go the other way. And Rose on the offensive foul. It's not going to happen for the Pacers tonight.
Yeah, that time Rose came down and tried to establish a post-up position, and he knocked Bowen out of there in order to get position to get the pass. Now, that last play where they got the dunk, that was a beautiful read by Eddie Jones into Brian Grant.
And a beautiful read as Bowen finds Mason to assault this one away. 88-76 is 109 remaining. Tyus Edney guarded by Grant, of all people. This is the 2. Hardaway the rebound. Well, Jonathan Bender with a sprained ankle, and that'll be something for the Indiana Pacers to check on as they move on after this game. Under a minute to go here and 13 on the shot clock. Miami Heat will win their third in a row and go 2 games over 500. Hardaway into Mason. Bowen for 3. Bowen for 3, and that's the 7th three-pointer of the night for the Heat as they win going away.
They've had a great game plan tonight from a defensive standpoint. Their offense was beautiful with their spacing, and their key guys played big in this game.
And not only did the key guys play big, but how about A.C. Green coming off the bench with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Coming up on Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley. We'll take you through tonight's NBA action, scores, and highlights. More on Grant Hill's season-ending surgery. And Kenny had a chance to sit down and chat with Shaq and Kobe of the Lakers. Under a half a minute to go in this game. Indiana's season low is 80 points, and they've got 79 right now. 6 on the shot clock, and here is Grant. And Jones with the offensive rebound with 6 seconds to go. And the Indiana Pacers, facing a staunch defensive effort tonight by the Miami Heat, are held to a season's low 79 points. So the Miami Heat playing now 10-5 this month of December. Pretty impressive. Have beaten the Indiana Pacers 91-79.
I liked everything about the way they came in here tonight. They were all business, and this game gives them a 10-5 record for December. Pat Riley is finding the pieces and how the chemistry works with the first unit, second unit, then the substitutions. This takes time when you have so many new players and then also questionable players on your second unit. Now, it would be nice to see Dan Marley come back in shape, but once again, a defensive effort and a great game plan for the Miami Heat.
Miami now 16-14 on the year. Indiana dropping to 13-17 as we send it over to Reggie Theus.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Grant, Hubie Brown talked about the new faces and the contribution you guys have done. Tonight, the game plan was tremendous. You stopped them defensively, and you frustrated them.
You know, when we're playing good defense, we're a good team, and we know there's going to be nights where we're not going to be able to, put it in the hole, but so long as we go out there and defend the way we can defend, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win.
A lot of people still say you guys got a chance in the East. What do you think?
We definitely have a chance, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. We got to take it one game at a time, because if we start looking too far out, then, teams will catch us.
All right, man, good luck. The old Iron Man. 1,140 games, 25 minutes. But you see your stats? Look at it. 15 points, 6 rebounds. You're 6 for 8. How do you keep going, man?
This number of the power of God, man. But, let's look at the next game. That's what I'm worried about now, see. It was great. We had a lot of energy, a lot of effort, Reggie. I mean, what can we say? It was a good effort overall. Only thing I want to do all the time is come and make an impact. That's really the bottom line. And tonight, it was a good lift coming off the bench.
You have a lot to say to young fellas and young people around. The one thing is, how do you stay so consistent? What do you tell these young guys?
You got to understand, you got to be a professional about what you go out and do. It's a job, it's fun. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, keep your spirit right, and just have fun what you're doing.
All right, man. Good luck. Right. And next time you take my pad, we're going to go at it. All right? Dick?
All right, Reggie, thank you very much. So Grant and Green each with 15, but Eddie Jones led the way with 22 points, 9 off the glass, and 7 assists. The Pacers led by Jalen Rose, who had 13. Reggie Miller, 9, and he was one of 2 players ejected. Not a night for the Pacers. Once again, our final score, the Heat 91, the Pacers 79. Join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern on TNT as the Blazers take on the Jazz. After a short break, it's Inside the NBA presented by Hyundai. So for Hubie Brown and Reggie Theus, our producer, Jeff Benke, our director, Bill McCoy, Marty Aronoff, our statistician, this is Dick Stockton saying goodnight from Miami.